Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another segment where Paul, Owen, and I are going to be discussing our striking options for the rest of this season. Of course, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as we speak, is out with a hamstring injury. We started with no recognised striker from the beginning against Wolves, but eventually, of course, Richarlison came on as a striker, and we saw that game out and come out with a 2-1 win. But it does beg the question, is long-term, what could solution be? There's rumours about Cenk Tosun, of course, the other option, potentially leaving. Rumours to like Hertha Berlin, Frankfurt, and West Brom, of course, under Sam Allardyce. And, you know, there's a couple of rumours being thrown around about Tosun going. And with that in mind, Moise Keane as well, it looks like his deal could be made permanent sooner rather than later at PSG. So it looks as though we will need another striker to bring in. And with that in mind, we're going to try and look through the sort of realistic options that we've got to bring in. To obviously, somebody you presume when Calvert-Lewin is fit would be on the bench, but you know it's not always easy to find that balance of a very good player who is willing to sit on the bench behind another striker. It's a difficult position to recruit for, that sort of second reserve striker role. So with that in mind, Paul and Owen, we're going to have a little discussion about a potential backup striker who could sit on the bench. Owen, do you have any ideas of anyone you'd be happy to have?
There'd be loads of players I'd be happy to have, but it's whether they can do it come in January. There's just so many extenuating circumstances for doing a deal now. Then I'm not sure one will be done, but I definitely do think we do need a player. Well, two players that play in the forward areas, and another winger and a backup striker, and obviously to see Cenk Tosun leave the football club. I feel we'd be in good stead from then on in. But yeah, we do need someone else. We've been linked with like the Milik and Josh King in the past. I don't see any of them deals coming to pass.
I don't think Josh King's a goer at all.
No,
we'd have got him if we were going to get him. We'd have got him in the summer. I think we were never in for Josh King.
Absolutely.
Really.
No. So I don't think that's on. There's other rumours about different strikers. I just think it's a really difficult month to do any business in. So, especially in the current circumstances, if you're getting someone from abroad, is this a really desirable place to come right now? I don't know. To be Everton's backup striker when you're not really going to get much of a look in with Dominic Calvert-Lewin sort of important to the team. I think it's really difficult. If I'm going to make a suggestion of someone we could bring in who plays in the forward positions but not necessarily a striker, it would be Ismail Assar from Watford. He's not a striker, but he can play in the forward positions. And if Dominic Calvert-Lewin wasn't fit, Richarlison could go up front, and he's played up front himself, so he's quick, dynamic. I think if I was to do a deal for anyone, it would be Ismail Assar. But then with Watford sell, they're in the top 6. Would they want to sell mid-season? So there's so many. The only strikers that you'd probably be able to get would be to be sort of, to be honest, yard dogs in terms of getting Cenk Tosun's. That would be available. And I don't really want them, so I think if we could get someone like Sarr, or if we could get a striker, then fantastic. But I feel like it would be really difficult to do at the moment.
Paul, any ideas? A striker who could fit the bill?
I know what mould of striker I'd like to see us sign. We need to sign someone who can hold the ball up, because there's no point us signing just a slotter to stick in the box, because we've got one of them, and the way we set up, he's not going to get much joy at all, is he? If we're going to get a striker who we're just going to try and get play with his back to goal, that's where I think we need to go, because we do throw a lot of crosses in the box. We need a striker who can get us up the pitch and bring the wide forwards into play. And we need someone who doesn't mind getting maybe bashed about a little bit and can look after himself. There's no point signing anyone unless he's absolutely rapid and just an amazing finisher. There's no point to sign anyone who's under 6 foot, really, because they're just going to be marked out of a game, and we don't play the style of football where they're going to get chances, because that's what Tosun's problem, isn't it? Tosun could probably finish a lot of chances if he was one-on-one, got half a yard in the box, but that's not how we go forward as a team. So I do like the sound of that Milik from Napoli. He's mentioned I think he's definitely available this month. It looks like there's no way back for him at Napoli. and he's got a buyout clause apparently. But he's probably got a lot of options, and I doubt Everton to come and sit on Everton's bench would be his first one, even if we do go in for him.
Did he feature heavily under Ancelotti when he was at Napoli?
I think he was there, definitely. I don't know if he was first choice. Do they still play? I can't think of his name. The fella whose name begins with an I. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, do they still play Insigne? Yeah, do they still play him as the number 9?
They play him as an inverted forward, like an inside left.
Either way, I think if I'm going to bring someone up who fits that kind of mold of a striker who I think would come to Everton would be Mainz's don't laugh, Jean-Philippe Mateta. To Jean-Philippe, but Mateta, he's that.
The mind only sign players called Jean-Philippe.
I don't know. Come to think of it, that's really become a theme. That's why I laughed. But yeah, he's a decent goal scorer. He's similar in terms of style of play to Calvert-Lewin. Not as good, I would say, but I think he's someone who'd come, and I think he's a much better player than Tosin. Been linked with Crystal Palace this window, so maybe he's someone we could look at. I think Weghorst has been linked from Wolfsburg, but I think he's got.
I like him.
I feel like he's really good. I do like him, but I think his ceiling's a lot higher than Everton's bench. So I think that'll be a struggle with that one. But he's a much better player than Mateta. But I think Mateta is a decent option. I could see that one maybe coming to pass. We'll look at someone of that mould.
Certainly, yeah.
You say, sorry, how'd you pronounce his name, that Wolfsburg lad, the German? I was going to mention him, but I don't want to butcher his name. Weghorst, yeah. Yeah, as you say, he's probably got an higher ceiling, but he's not young, he is like 28. So if he's going to move and get one last big opportunity, he's going to have to make it soon. And are any other clubs in for him at the moment that he's knocked Everton back for?
I don't know, but I think there should be, because I think he's a really good striker.
Yeah, he's a really good player. I like him a lot. I think he's on double figures this season, and he's hit double figures, well into double figures the 2 previous seasons he's been at Wolfsburg, who are a mid-table team at best in Germany. It's not like they're a team.
They're harsh on Wolfsburg, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a decent team.
Yeah, they're a decent team, but they're not a team that is ever going for the league, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're always hovering around the European. They're hovering around the Europa League spots. Sometimes they get there, sometimes they don't. The point I was making is they're not a team that just scores bags and bags of goals and creates bags and bags of chances like Bayern Munich or Dortmund, are they? So to be getting 16, 17 goals in their season, in their team, in the two first seasons you were there, and I think he's on double figures already for this year. He's got to have something about him, and he is a big, strapping, strong, old-fashioned number 9 player like Calvert-Lewin. And I do think that's the mold of striker we need to go for. We need to go someone who is as much like Calvert-Lewin as we can. So we're probably not going to find anyone who's injured. Yeah, we're probably not going to find a target man who's got the pace that Calvert-Lewin's got, because for a player who goes up with a lot of headers, he does cover a lot of ground, and he's quite quick on the break.
Do you know what's interesting? I mean, you two are probably going to piss yourselves laughing at me for this one, but I would have gone in for like Haller or something from West Ham. I just think as a bench warmer, he's well better than Tosin. I think he would have done all right,
20 million, no.
No, actually, not for that price though.
It's one of them with Haller. You'd think he'd be a David Moyes striker all day long, wouldn't you? Because he's a big, strong player. But the reason it's not worked out for him, and that West Ham are happy to make such a massive loss. I read in the Athletic that they don't like him in training because, despite his size, he's meant to be very, very soft, and he goes down very easily, and he can be a bit petulant. Like, he's not the type of player where if you barge him, he's a defender is bullying him a bit. He's going to think, right, let's have a battle. Then I'm going to bully you back. He's just the type of striker who is quick to complain to referees and doesn't really fancy the physical fight aspect. That's what I read from a story in Athletic. So, do you know what I mean? When Moyes went into West Ham, I thought, yeah, he'll get the best out of Haller. He's an old-fashioned, like Yakubu type striker, isn't he? But it's not working for him at all, and that's why they're happy to just let him go for 30 million less than what they signed him for.
Yeah, I think Mateta is quite quick. So when you say Calvert-Lewin's pace, I think Mateta could possibly match that. I think Everton will look for a slightly higher caliber than Mateta, but I think in terms of stylistically, I think he's a good fit. I like Weghorst a lot. It's just a question of whether he would come here.
I think he could come here, but it's whether we're willing to spend the money in January, because if Wolfsburg sell him, then they're going to drop down 4 or 5 places in Bundesliga easily, unless they sign another great striker to replace them. So signing him basically completely derails a team's season. So you'd have to pay a lot of money to get him out in January. But I do really like him. I do think a Premier League club should be going in for him in the summer if he stays there. Yeah. Here's one I'll mention. I don't think it's realistic, and I don't think I'd have him, but I have seen him mentioned by some other people, and I think he is worth discussing. If you could get him, would you go back and maybe have Giroud? Because rumours is he's going to be on the move.
I've heard about this. I mean, I would have him, but it's not realistic.
You know,
I know it's not realistic. He doesn't want to move up to out of London, does he? He's going to have options to either go back to France, or I've seen other London clubs linked with him. But let's just say, for argument's sake, he was willing to sit down at the table at us and say, right, I will move up and I will come and be your number 2 backup. But this is, I want, let's say he asks for like a 2.5-3 year deal. Would you give him that? Because he's probably going to ask for that. That's the only way I think he'd even consider coming out of London, if he got a longer contract.
Yeah, I maybe would. I really like Giroud, so
2.5. If it was 2.5, yeah. 3.5, probably no.
Yeah, he got an 18-month deal at Chelsea, didn't he? Which runs out, I think, in the summer, and he's probably going to leave this month or go for a free. But I think if he's going to come out of his comfort zone, he's going to want a deal that's going to basically set him up to the end of his career, isn't he? Either that, or he's just going to go for somewhere for a payday, like MLS or the East. Only way he stays in the Premier League outside of London is if a team just really gives him an offer that he just can't refuse.
Or if we're going for the other end of the spectrum, somebody else who's a lot younger and who's on the upward curve. What about Ivan Toney from Brentford? I think he's maybe someone not for now because he only joined in the summer. But if Brentford don't go up again, they're very prone to selling players. I think he could be a really good option for us. Yeah,
he is quite a good player, Ivan Toney. I think I remember he Aston Villa, was he, or
could have been? Yeah, I forgot where he came from to go to Brentford, but he is a really good striker. Could be an option.
I'm trying to think what else there is out there at the moment in terms of striking options. It is obviously it's a difficult time to recruit. January. I mean, there's rumours about Luka Jovic going on loan back to Frankfurt. Would you consider him?
Yeah, I'd consider him, but the thing is, Real Madrid, they're desperate to get shots of him because he's not worked at all. They'd want you to pay 100% of his wages, most probably, and he's on a big contract, so he costs a lot in that sense. And they'd probably want a guarantee that you're going to buy him at the end of the deal as well. And again, he's a poacher, isn't he? I know he's strong, like he's tall, but has he got the legs to be playing in our type of team? If you haven't got the legs, then you've got to be a real man mountain of a striker who can hold the ball up. And I'm not sure if he.
I don't know if he's got that in him.
Yeah, I think he's caught in between. I think obviously he's a better player, but I think he's caught too much in the Tosun mould where he's not one or the other, and he's not in the right team to get the best out of him.
Yeah, it's always difficult with those kind of players. They don't seem to know what they are. Some of them, like what sort of role they're going to take on in the team.
Yeah, they're a striker who's got to play in a 2. They can't lead the line, and there's just not any top teams in England, at least, that play with 2 strikers.
No.
If Tosun goes and leaves Everton, and even if he goes and plays for a West Brom or back to Palace, and they put someone up next to him who will support him and do all the hard work, then he will probably bag a few goals, because I do think he's capable of.
He's an all right finisher.
Chances. Yeah, he's not the assay where. Yeah, he's not the assay where if you put him through on goal, you still don't fancy him to score. But he'll just do something stupid like fall over or blast it. Right? He's not that level of bad. It's just he can't do anything else that to get himself in that position. He can't win headers really. He can't beat a man. He can't hold the ball up. He can't replay well enough to get between the lines to make a run in behind. He needs the ball on a plate for him in order to score, and he's at the wrong club for that. If he was at Man City, the amount of chances they make and how easily they get it into the opposition third. He score goals, but Everton just don't have the players to basically crowbar him into the team.
No, not at all. It's difficult though. Obviously, the striker market's a bit. It's a difficult one at the best of times to recruit the right kind of striker for your team, but
there's always Troy Deeney.
You know what? No. Before we start, no, I would not have him. Absolutely not. But I still think a Premier League club should have picked him up in the summer because he could have left Watford if he'd have got the right offer. Someone like no, he's not. But he's good enough for the likes of like a West Brom or someone like that. If he'd have gone to West Brom, he probably got enough goals to give them a fighting chance of staying up. I don't think they've got any chance at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Some club somewhere probably could have picked him up and had got a really good use out of him. Troy Deeney.
Yeah, West Brom probably a good shout.
Yeah, I don't think Troy Deeney is so bad or so finished as a player that he was ready to drop out of the Premier League completely along with Watford. I'm surprised no one went for him.
Yeah, that is interesting to be honest because he was always a nuisance at this level. So
yeah, that exactly. Yeah,
even if he wasn't like class, he made himself seen, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah,
he's indefinite.
Yeah, I know he's an absolute blade, like, but of a fella.
Speaking of absolute blades who make themselves seen, what about that Morelos who plays for Rangers? He's a bit of a crank. Is he any good though? Like, would he be able to make a step up to a Premier League team?
No, not for us. No, I'd rather keep Tosin.
No, not
really?
not.
I won't go that far.
Not to top 6 level. I mean, I do think he's ready to leave Rangers behind. I think he's shown enough to suggest that he shouldn't be in Scotland all his life. But if he does get a move to the Premier League, then he is probably going to end up on the bottom half side, and he's going to have to prove himself down there. But any team that wants to get him out of Rangers is going to pay a fortune because he's by far and away Gerrard's most important player, even though he is an absolute crank.
A better version of him is Edouard at Celtic. I think he's a shout.
Yeah, he's another one where he's probably ready to leave the Scottish League, isn't he? He's got a higher ceiling than staying there forever. But a club going into a team that's playing in Europe or wants to be in Europe regularly is probably a step too far for him at the minute.
And not Diego Costa. He's been finished for years.
Yes,
that's never the right decision.
I'll say this now. Anyone who seriously wants Everton to sign Diego Costa in the year 2021 plays too much FIFA and just wants to see what he'd look like in an Everton kit. You'd get over it. You'd get over it in the first 5 minutes, and then you'd realise it's like watching Tosin, if not worse. His legs have completely gone. He's finished. Just let him go to wherever he's going to go now. He's so bad that even basically his boyhood club. I know he's from Brazil, but he's synonymous with Atletico Madrid, isn't he? He's an Atletico Madrid person through and through. He's got it in his blood. They let him go for nothing. That's how much they didn't want him anymore.
You'd rather have, I don't know, Callum Patterson from Sheffield and
Ryan Brewster.
Well, no. I'd rather have Costa than Brewster.
God, that really is a hammer blow.
No, he's the next big thing. Jurgen Klopp loved him so much that he never played him once.
Yeah.
But he's got a winner's medal from the Champions League final.
I know, and wore it to town to get his hair cut. Knobhead.
Isn't that the reason?
Forget him.
Honest to God. But,
yeah, no. It's one more striker I'll throw out there, and I'll suggest because I think he's maybe gettable. I think really is. Would you go and take what's his face? Oh, I was going to say his name. He's gone out my head now.
Does he play for?
He's in the league. He's down the bottom.
That narrows it down. So many teams down.
Yeah, he's probably not available, but you know how much Mike Ashley loves a pound note. Would you go and maybe sign Callum Wilson on the cheap?
Yeah, that wouldn't be on the cheap though. I don't think that'd be on the cheap.
It would be on the cheap for Mike Ashley because Mike Ashley just will take anything, won't he? He's not asked how much he upsets the fans, and it looks like they're going down. Would you go into them and say
they won't go down?
They won't go down. They'll survive.
It'll be grim, but they're not going to go down. They'll be bottom.
I wouldn't.
Quarter.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they'll definitely go down, but I wouldn't say they definitely won't either. But he's just a player I rate, who I would have liked to see us go in for in the summer. But Newcastle got in there, and I think
No, not for me.
Is Joe Linton still crap?
Was he ever not crap?
Or is he being used poorly?
No, he's just crap.
What made them pay that much money for him?
It was Mike Ashley.
No, I'm not giving him. I'm not giving him the blame for that. He's a lot of things, mate, but he is not outright stupid, mate.
It was Leeds family then.
Someone's bought him. He's probably approved it, but he's not the one who's looked at that and thought, let's pay 40 million for that fella. He'll be the same, and he's probably more annoyed than anyone. But he spent 40 million on that crap.
It wasn't Steve Bruce anyway, because it was done before he was there. So
I don't know. No one's going to put their hands up and take that, but I'd be shocked if someone like Mike Ashley agreed to part with 40 million for him. But Ashley William wouldn't sign Messi. Ashley William.
Ashley Williams.
Mike Ashley is so tight with his money that even if he could get Mbappe for 40 million, he'd probably have to really think hard about it, parting with that money. So, do you know what I mean? Well, has anyone else got any striker suggestions who are realistic or half realistic or just at least interesting to talk about?
Yeah,
I feel like our bar's going lower.
Yeah, we're going to end up dropping down a few divisions at this rate, but we'll leave it at that anyway. I think
signing Umar. Should we sign Umar back? He's not got a club.
Yeah, Wes. You know,
we'll end it on that note. Let's
we'll
definitely can't get anyone. Let's just go.
Extrapolate. You mentioned.
Yeah, if someone's got Niase's number, please send it to the club and ask, and the club will give him a ring and offer him a 6-month deal, and he can come back and just make us laugh at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it.
I've got no to suggest.
Yeah, I think that's one. We'll leave it at that anyway. So yeah, guys, let us know if you've got any striker ideas, preferably realistic. We don't want to see too many Messis and that on the list, but drop us a comment below. Let us know who. Yeah, so let us know who you would sign if you could get anyone realistically. Which striker would you sign? Drop us a comment below. Let us know some suggestions. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.